Hey everybody, Mr. DVB here, woohoo! And in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the new Super Mario Bros. Movie. Or just the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but it is a new film. It's not the 90s live-action one, which I watched on TV years ago, and it was a very, very weird movie. But yeah, Super Mario Bros. Movie. This is a film that I wasn't really excited for the movie itself. I was more so looking forward to all of the online discussion surrounding the voice acting because of Chris Pratt being announced as Mario. I like Chris Pratt as an actor. I think he's an enjoyable person. A lot of people don't like him for more personal reasons, but when that whole announcement happened, when he was cast as this character and people were losing their minds, I thought it was hilarious. He could have been absolutely atrocious as Mario, and I wouldn't have cared. I would have just found it even more entertaining, honestly, just all of that online discussion. But the movie itself, I was never particularly that excited for. I like Mario. I certainly grew up with a lot of the Mario games, but I don't know. I don't really watch animated movies as often anymore. Pixar films are barely ever released in theaters. I don't really care about Disney these days, and other companies like Illumination and stuff who made this movie, their films always feel more targeted towards really little kids. So what did I think of this movie coming out of it? Well, it was exactly what I expected, which isn't a bad thing, but it's also not a great thing either. This is a movie that is certainly going to be enjoyed by little kids. It's going to be an extremely popular family film. It's going to make a ton of money at the box office, I'm sure. And, hardcore, diehard fans will probably get a kick out of some of the Easter eggs and stuff. But at the end of the day, it feels like an Illumination movie with Mario stuff in it. It didn't, for me, it kind of lacked a bit of charm. It kind of felt like all of this Mario stuff, but without the real core stuff behind it, without the charm and the love. I don't know really how to describe it very well, but it kind of felt like just a very basic anime movie that had Mario stuff in it. But that's not to say that it was bad. There were certainly elements I enjoyed. I think the animation was gorgeous, which is not very usual for Illumination movies. I find their animation is usually very basic and just kind of forgettable, but I actually thought this movie looked quite nice, especially when it came to the lighting. There were some scenes where I just thought the glow and stuff looked really cool. So that's one thing I would say about the movie, is that it certainly had good animation. And there was definitely some scenes I enjoyed. There's this one Mario Kart type scene. It's less of a race and more of a big action sequence where they're on the Rainbow Road. That part was cool. I mean, just seeing that location and hearing some of the classic Mario scores be used in the film definitely gave me a smile. There's a lot of music that isn't, related to Mario in this movie, a lot of just popular songs from the 90s and 80s and whatnot. And that's just such an Illumination thing, right? To just have all these old, AC/DC Thunderstruck is in this. That's just such a Illumination thing. And I knew that was going to happen going into this movie. I just knew there was going to be tons of popular songs in here to make people go yeah, awesome. And it just, to me, sometimes it felt out of place, sometimes it was okay, but it just, at the end of the day, it felt very much so just something I knew was going to happen going into this movie. Something else I knew was going to be the case was the voice acting. I don't think anybody does a bad job here, but, it definitely felt like the cast was specifically chosen so that they could have as big of actors as possible. They weren't going in here, who's actually going to nail this character's voice from the game? It was more of a, let's get a massive, massive actor to voice this character. And that's exactly what we got. So you have Jack Black playing Bowser. Does it sound like Bowser? No, it sounds like Jack Black, right? And if you love Jack Black, then you're probably going to enjoy that, right? There's some funny moments with him where he's playing on the piano, singing a song about how much he loves Princess Peach. It's funny, but, it sounds like Jack Black, right? And so I wasn't a huge fan of the way the voice cast turned out, especially with Donkey Kong, for example, right? It's Seth Rogen voicing Donkey Kong. I don't even think he ever really did the Seth Rogen laugh, which is kind of disappointing. But as for the main star himself, as for Chris Pratt as Mario, I thought he was fine. I didn't hate him, right? Does he sound exactly like Mario from the games? No, but if we had an hour and a half of Mario from the game's voice, it would probably be a little bit annoying in my opinion. He more so just does kind of a Brooklyn accent here, and there's one scene where it's a plumber ad for him and his brother where they actually do the really over-the-top Italian accents, and it was kind of funny. I actually liked the first 20 minutes of this movie quite a bit, where it's them in the regular world. It was kind of just neat, and I liked that concept. And then the rest of the film, like I said, certainly has tons and tons of Mario and Nintendo callbacks and Easter eggs and stuff, but it just kind of felt like it was missing the heart and the charm of it all, which Might not be something that everybody's gonna be like, that everybody's gonna come out of the movie thinking. Some people might love it, but it just kind of felt like it was missing something for me. So overall, the movie was fine. It was enjoyable. I didn't have a bad time. It goes by very fast. The pacing is a little weird in my opinion. There's just scenes where things go by very quickly and just kind of like fade to black or like fade into the next scene, and it definitely rushes through the motions very quick. There's very like paper thin characters here. They don't really get much development. And again, it's a kids movie. It's like, it's not gonna matter to kids, but you know, when other companies like Pixar, to a degree, you know, they do put more work into their characters and stuff, here it just kind of feels like everybody's a bit more generic, and the writing is very like, you know, it's fine, whatever. It's exactly what I expected, so I'm not like coming out of this movie saying, oh, it sucks, right? I think whatever your expectations are going into this movie, the film's probably going to turn out exactly as how you expect it to. People who think they're going to love it probably will. People who think it's going to suck will probably hate it. I thought it was going to be very fine, and it ended up being very fine. So, Super Mario Bros. Movie, those are my thoughts on it. If I had to give it a rating, I would probably give it somewhere around a 6 out of 10. Would I watch it again? Maybe. You know, it's enjoyable enough. I didn't hate it or anything. I've certainly seen far worse animated movies, but it was very average at the end of the day. There's going to be a sequel for sure. I mean, the movie's going to make a ton of money. It's going to be absolutely packed. So, you know, Mario, wahoo, let's go. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of the film down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.